For over 50 years, this has been the sound of American daytime television. You know the sounds and sights, the roaring crowds, the vibrant colors, and that iconic catchphrase that invites everyday people to become stars for a day.
We just got married on Saturday and we came here for our honeymoon.
Wonderful!
But before all that, there was this.
The Price is Right.
A completely different Price is Right. It was a show born in 1956 with a quiet host, a simple auction,
$125.
and a secret weapon that allowed it to survive a scandal that torpedoed almost every other game show on TV. This is the story of how it all really began. To really get how revolutionary this show was, you have to understand the world it was born into. The 1950s were television's first golden age, and the quiz show was king.
Who was the first president to use Washington, D.C. as his capital?
At their peak, 22 different game shows were on the air, holding a third of the entire nation captive. Shows like the $64,000 Question and 21 turned contestants into national heroes overnight, proving that ordinary people with incredible knowledge could achieve the American dream, live on television. These weren't just games, they were national events. Viewers at home saw themselves in the contestants, rooting for them week after week as they answered impossibly hard questions.
Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is correct.
The stakes felt astronomically high, the drama was real, and the public was absolutely hooked. But behind the curtain, a dark secret was festering. Producers, desperate for ever higher ratings and pressured by powerful sponsors, had started rigging the games. They weren't just looking for smart contestants anymore, they were casting heroes and villains, feeding answers to the most charismatic players to keep the drama high and the viewers glued to their seats. The public trusted what they saw, believing it was all real. It was a bubble of manufactured drama, and it was about to burst in the most spectacular way imaginable. Into this high-stakes, high-drama world came a deceptively simple idea, and it didn't start in a flashy TV studio, but on a New York City street. The young television producer named Bob Stewart was on his lunch break when he stumbled upon a crowd gathered for an auction. He was captivated by the simple, compelling drama of it all. This one observation sparked an idea he first called Auctioneer. Stewart, who had just started working in the powerhouse production duo Mark Goodson and Bill Todman, pitched his concept, but he added a game-changing twist. In his version, it wasn't just about having the highest bid. The goal was to get closest to the actual retail price without going over. $1 over and you were out.
The actual retail value of this beautiful necklace is exactly $850. Mrs. Hemingway, you hit it right on the nose.
That single rule was a stroke of genius. It turned a simple guessing game into a tense balance of knowledge, strategy, and pure nerve. Goodson and Todman instantly saw the potential. They pitched a pilot to NBC. They managed to secure a 13-week contract. The show, now called The Price is Right, premiered on November the 26th, 1956, with the witty and charming Bill Cullen as its host and the legendary Don Pardo as its announcer. Unlike the tense, high-pressure quiz shows, the original Price is Right was calm, classy, and surprisingly simple. 4 contestants, one of them a returning champion, would face off. A prize would be rolled out. The contestants then bid on the item auction style.
I should say about $70.
Mr. Gates opens the bidding at $70. Excellent, Mr. Gates.
You could bid as many times as you wanted, or you could freeze your bid if you had a good feeling you were close enough to the price without going over.
I'll say my $115.
Mrs. Split stays at $115.
The show was an immediate hit. Why? Because it was a game anyone could play from their own living room. Most people couldn't answer questions on 18th century poetry. It tapped right into the booming American consumer culture of the 1950s. The format was so popular that a weekly primetime version soon launched in addition to its daily daytime show. The prizes themselves were a huge part of the appeal. While many were typical consumer goods, the show became famous for its wild and extravagant bonus prize. On the nighttime version, contestants might find themselves bidding on a 1926 Rolls-Royce, a Ferris wheel, or even an entire island in the St. Lawrence Seaway. One winner was given a walk-on role in the Hollywood epic Exodus. This mix of relatable gameplay and jaw-dropping prizes, all held together by Bill Cullen's celebrated wit, made the show a ratings giant. Just as The Price is Right was hitting its peak, the bubble finally burst for everyone else. In 1958, the quiz show scandal erupted. It all started when a standby contestant on a show called Dotto found a notebook backstage with the exact answers a winning contestant would give on air just moments later. Soon, a flood of allegations followed. A former contestant on 21, Herb Stempel, came forward claiming he'd been coached for weeks and then forced to intentionally lose to a more charismatic professor, Charles Van Doren, all for the sake of ratings.
I was shocked. I was horrified. I didn't want to lose.
The public felt completely betrayed. The heroes they'd been rooting for were just actors in a scripted play. The suspense they'd felt was a lie. Congressional hearings were launched, and the scandal dominated the news for months. One by one, the giants of the quiz show world fell. The $64,000 question, 21, Dotto, all of them were cancelled in disgrace. The scandal was so massive, it led to new federal laws that made rigging a game show a crime. Amid all the fallout, The Price is Right stood virtually untouched. Its survival wasn't luck, it was built into its very DNA. A producer couldn't just invent a price. The game was based on practical knowledge, not coached memorization. For nearly a decade, Bill Cullen's The Price is Right reigned. It moved from NBC to ABC in 1963 and kept its successful run going. But by 1965, the TV landscape was changing, and the show aired its final episode on September the 3rd of that year. For 7 years, the format lay dormant, just a fond memory from television's first golden age. But the story wasn't over. In 1972, producers Mark Goodson and Bill Todman decided to bring the concept back, but with some crucial updates for a new generation. This new version, hosted by Bob Barker, took the core bidding mechanics of the original and supercharged it. Contestants were called right out of the audience, with the immortal phrase,
"Come on down, you're the first contestants on the new Price is Right!"
The winner of that opening bid then got to come on stage to play one of the many new fast-paced pricing games.
What number is next? 6! 6! Let's see number 6!
The new format was an explosive success. A few years later, in 1975, the show was expanded to a full hour, and the Showcase Showdown, with its iconic big wheel, became a permanent fixture. This revamped show went on to become the longest-running game show in American television history. And as of 2025, it's set to take the title for the longest-running game show in the entire world.
Here's your host, Drew Carey!
The show we know today, with its ecstatic contestants and dizzying games, owes its entire existence to that quiet, classy auction that first aired back in 1956. The original The Price is Right did more than just introduce a brilliant game. It stood as a beacon of honesty during one of the darkest chapters in television history. It proved that a game didn't need to be rigged to be dramatic, and that audiences will always celebrate a genuine, honest competition. If you enjoyed this look back at TV history, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories behind your favorite shows.